Hey, what's up? My name's Milan Carter, and I stand in my own way. But today, I'm gonna try to step aside. What do you love, and do you spend time there? That's a question I had to ask myself because I could tell you everything that I hate. I hate cheese. I hate flip-flops. I hate anything that's white and creamy. I hate when people don't. Nope, shouldn't have said that one. I had an epiphany journaling the other day. I was like, I spend so much time with the things that I hate that I never really figured out what do I truly love. I wasted so much time in life worrying about not being like the people who were mean to me in life. For instance, my stepfather, super abusive, super mean, super rigid. I didn't want to be anything like him, but ironically, the more I tried not to be like him, the more I became like him. Everything I loved was a product of survival. Social currency. I loved how it helped me survive, right? I realized if I could be the funnest person in the room, that no one will ever want to get rid of me. So therefore, my goal was to always be the funnest person just so people want to keep me around. Because I got kicked out. My mom chose her husband over me. My junior year of high school, I was honor roll student on the basketball team, and I got kicked out. She chose him over me, even though I did everything right. I had other parents in the neighborhood telling me how amazing I was and how they wish they had a kid like me. I never got that from my own parents. And I hated that I didn't get it from my parents. I hated everything that they stood for. My stepfather loved spending money. He never apologized. If he did something wrong to you, instead of apologizing, he would take you to dinner, take you on a shopping spree. So therefore, I started to hate money. What? I have a terrible relationship with money. And it's like I never wanted to make life about that in a weird way, right? It's like I'm an artist. I decided to be an entrepreneur as a photographer, and I can't even make money in my business because people ask me what's my price, what's my rate, and it makes me cringe because I hate how manipulative people can be with money. And instead of isolating that incident, I made it my life. I made it an umbrella, and I focused so much on the things that I didn't like and the things that made me uncomfortable that I never really spent time with the things that really bring me joy. My joy became something that was created out of lack, and it's not my authentic joy. Another part of my upbringing, growing up, everything I loved was taken away from me, consciously or subconsciously. So for instance, I lived on the same street as my great grandmother, my best friend. That woman right there, right? That's a picture of me getting inducted into the National Honor Society. I remember going across the street to her house every day because I just loved hanging out with her more than hanging out with my cousins or friends my age. I was a weird kid, and I'm okay with that. She taught me how to play every game there is. There's a whole chest of games behind me because I love playing games. People think it's because I have 5 older brothers. No, it's because of that lady right there. Yeah, that lady right there. That's my mom. My brother couldn't say grandma growing up, so her name became Mama. The first time something I love was taken away from me was her. We moved to the other side of Philadelphia for my mom and dad to have a place to call their own. And then after that, I made a new best friend. His name was Bobby. And then we moved again a year later. And I moved to another school and met Robbie, ironically. I don't know, I can't make this up. But made a new best friend, and then I had to move again about a year and a half later. At that point, I was tired of making new friends. I was tired of meeting people, so I just stayed to myself. I think that's when I started to not explore the things I really care about. I really stopped giving chances on things because I was so afraid that whatever I loved was going to be taken away from me. So the thing I fell in love with actually was video games and baking. I was like, you can't take video games away from me. It's just me and my video games. So I stopped making friends. As I got older, my stepfather came into my life and realized that the only thing that mattered to me were video games. So what did he do? Snatched, took them right away. And I only had one thing left that I really cared about, and that was basketball. And honestly, I actually started playing basketball because of my brothers. They were all athletes. Everybody played basketball. Michael Jordan was cool. I wanted to make my dad proud, who actually never came to any of my games. But maybe a few, way back when. Nevertheless, I fell in love with basketball, and I tried to put all my eggs in that basket. And then I got kicked out the year after my coach guaranteed I was going to be the starting point guard on varsity. All of a sudden, I get into an argument with my stepfather of digging holes in the front yard. He swings a shovel, tries to take off my head. I grab a knife. Next thing you know, my mom says, I think you should spend some time with your dad. What? I think my dad had just relapsed, and now he was living with his parents in some far off, practically retirement community. And I didn't have a cell phone at the time. I couldn't even call my coaches and let them know that I wasn't going to be able to attend summer workouts and summer league. I went to one game, had like 17 points, 8 assists, 7 boards. Then I disappeared. And then I got back to school, and my coach looked at me like, oh, now you decide to show up. It's like, sir, I can explain. But it was too late to explain. My best friends were taken from me. The things I loved were taken from me. And it just became a perpetual cycle. I never wanted to care about anything too much, because whenever I cared about something, it was always the thing that can break me. So now here I am at 37 years old, realizing that I spent so much time focusing on the things that I didn't like, that I never really focused on the things that I do like. And that's what I want to spend this next chapter doing, is exploring things that I really care about, exploring the things that really matter to me. It's nice to be a kid again. It's nice to enjoy that. And sure, my whole adult life, I didn't just focus on the things I hated. Like, I like traveling. I spent some time traveling. I guess I'm saying all this in this video to say I have to spend some time reflecting and figuring out who I am. On my 30th birthday, I woke up in a pile of throw up in my own bed. I went to a club and passed out. And I had to really ask myself, why am I partying so hard? Who am I doing this for? And that's when I had the epiphany. It's like, I'm partying to be liked. I'm partying because I like when people like me, and I like when people want me around. But ultimately, I had to ask the question, who is Milan? Like, when I tell you, I had that thing lit. I had a flyer, and there was a swarm. We get there at the club. They walk me all the way upstairs, all the way to the back for my birthday celebration, because they think I just came with a whole bunch of dudes. But the whole floor was flooded with women, and they realized that every woman downstairs was there for me. So then they bring me back downstairs to party. I have my own section. It's getting lit. It's amazing. And I might have lasted like 3 shots, because everybody was giving me birthday shots. And it was the first time I've ever celebrated my birthday in public, and it didn't end well. I was like, this isn't the ideal way that I would ever want to celebrate my birthday. But I was so known for being the turn-up king. I was so known for going to people's parties and making a party better. People would just invite me just so I could turn up. They didn't really like me. They didn't really care about me. They didn't know anything that I was going through. They just wanted me to be a device to allow them to have more fun. And that's when I had to have the epiphany, like, yo, bro, what are you doing? What are you here for? I'm not in LA to be a party animal. I'm in LA to create. I'm in LA to be an actor. And literally, it was that moment I broke down, I spoke to God, and I put myself in acting class. I met Leslie Kahn. She changed my life. And then actually 3 months after, so my birthday is September 29th. And then the beginning of December, I wound up shooting an AIDS and HIV commercial, and that is where I met my wife, right? I started to focus on the things that I truly love. I started focusing on my purpose, and then all of a sudden the world became so much more abundant. So I say, how often are we focusing on things that don't matter, or the things that frustrate us? Right? There's so many things. We can focus on our boss. We can focus on the fact that we got bills due. We can focus on the things that were taken away from us. But what happens if we focus on the one little thing that gives us a little bit of hope? What if we focus on the one little thing that brings us joy? That little voice inside of us that when we wake up every morning, it's like, oh, it's telling you to do that thing. Mine's is storytelling. Whenever I'm in an opportunity to tell a story, to learn a story, to share a story, to grow with a story, it's like, oh, that's where I'm home. And I think acting is my vessel right now, right? That's my assignment, to do much larger things. And I think it's going to open up the world to so many more things. But right now, I need to focus on that assignment. It's a fun one. Like, I'll act anywhere. I'll act in a barrel. I act out anywhere. I just love embodying and truly telling stories. And I was always afraid to say that. I never wanted to do, because I remember as a kid, I have all my older brothers basically D1 athletes. And I remember saying I wanted to be in a play. And it was like, nigga, you gay? Nah, no, I'm not. No, it's cool. I'll hoop. And just to put it in context, we're in the hood back in the early 90s. So this is when people would still say the F word. It wasn't offensive. In that, I was a product of my environment at that time, and my brothers were athletes. So I was like, you know what? I'll be an athlete too. But I had to find my own path. And I got back to doing the things that made me happy and not trying to please others and not worrying about the things that I didn't like. So I focused on the things that I did like. And once I started doing that, life got a lot better. I met my wife, started booking commercials. I started booking TV shows. Things keep getting brighter. And I always have to remind myself, focus on what you love, focus on where you feel like you're called to, focus on where you find joy. And it's been a game changer ever since. You ever spend time with a woman who's holier than thou? She can quote the Bible, but she's always being critical of other people. Never tells you anything she loves besides the Lord. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of religious people. I was blessed that my grandmother was more than just that. She loved us through and through, and she loved the Lord. So often, these religious people don't explore who they truly are, and they just stand on something that was given to them. What was given to you that you just stand on, that you just do because? Are you in a dead-end job? Are you in a place that, I'm here because my mom put me here. I'm here because of that. Don't let anyone else write your story. I challenge you today, no matter what you're going through, is find a silver lining. Find something that brings you hope. Find something that brings you joy. And focus on that and see what happens. Don't worry about making money. Just do that thing. Do it. I feel like if you honor your gifts, they will honor you. My name is Milan Carter, and I stand in my own way. But today, I'm going to step aside, and I'm going to focus on the things that I love and see what happens.